Put a lien on my neighbors for not being able to pay an illegal special assessment? I'll put a lien on your $20 million mansion. This may be the pettiest thing I have ever done in my life. I'm a petty person, and I also believe in malicious compliance, but this takes the cake. So I bought a condo in a building in a large city in the US about 2.5 years ago. The building has an HOA that we all pay monthly. Since I've lived here, the building has rapidly deteriorated and we have all hired an attorney for a class action style lawsuit. I'm talking broken elevators, broken rooftop AC units, the pool was empty for 4 months during the summer, etc. The people in the building are great though, and we are a friendly bunch. Last year, I took the HOA to small claims court because they failed to provide financial documents that show us how our fees are being spent. As this is a legal requirement for all HOAs in my state, I won the case and was awarded the $30 filing fee plus $1. Symbolic. I sued for documents, not money. The fact that they can't provide the docs as they are legally required to do is a separate issue among others, including the possible crime that we've hired the attorneys for. I have asked the HOA to pay the $31 to me, and the president of the HOA wants to either meet me somewhere private to give it to me, or he wants to mail me a satisfaction of judgment form, have me sign it, and mail it back to him, and then he will send me a check. No to both. 3 days after I won the case, the HOA announced that they were going to charge us all a special assessment of about $1,000 each and an increase in our monthly dues of 10%. In my state, a membership vote gets triggered if you charge a special assessment that brings the building more than 5% of its yearly income, which means 51% of the owners must approve of the assessment for it to take effect. As this money is about 20% of our yearly income, a vote should have taken place. When we asked about this vote, the HOA said that it was being made under an emergency clause, which means that the membership vote doesn't have to take place. The emergency? Fixing the elevator that broke on December 24, 2021. The spirit of the emergency clause is for things like fire, earthquake, flood, etc., not a broken elevator that has been broken for a year already. When there was understandable pushback, the HOA sent out a little email stating that anyone who didn't pay the assessment would have a lien put on their unit. The liens came down yesterday to those that couldn't pay $1,000 on short notice. Our attorneys told us that even though the money is in dispute, we still have to pay it, and I did pay mine, but we also have a lot of retirees / lower income people in the building. The HOA president's house is currently on the market for $20 million. I just got back from the courthouse where I filed a $31 lien against it for $140, clouding its title. It's a matter of principle, not money. Now the title can't change hands until he pays me my $31 and I am ideally within my rights to collect on a judgment-owed smile. It's your first time story? I met my friend Will in elementary school and we became fast friends. We were thought of as pretty cool back then because we knew what doing the deed was and we made a lot of poop jokes. This is what made you cool in 5th grade, I guess. Well, in 6th grade we were forced to go our separate ways as Will went to a private school, while I went to the local public school. Unfortunately we drifted apart because of this and I didn't see Will again for years. About a third of the way through senior year of high school I received some exciting news. Will was transferring to my high school. Well, next week Will arrived and he was a changed man. Will liked substances, lots of substances. I like substances too, but not nearly as much or as many substances as Will. Will experimented with pretty much any substance you can think of and was on something pretty much all the time. A few examples. Will liked to do MDMA in class. I have no idea how he was able to do this because I can't sit still or be quiet while rolling. Frankly, that sounds like hell. He was high on acid a lot. He took a lot of that in class. One time he was drunk for about 3 weeks straight because he was afraid of the hangover he would get when he finally sobered up. Suffice to say, the kid liked to be screwed up. One day Will was at his house hanging out with another friend of ours named Eric. Will decided to smoke some rock. The rock must have made Will pretty horny because he went on Craigslist to find a hooker. He found a cheap drive to your house hooker on Craigslist that was only $100. The picture was pretty hot too. Picture a hot Italian chick with long brown hair, bright eyes, and a pretty substantial rack. Will decided that she was the one he wanted, so he stole $100 from his little brother and called the number. Now if there is one thing I have learned in my life, it's this: if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. In this instance this proved to be correct. About 45 minutes later a beat-up old black car pulls up to the driveway and out walks the hooker. She did not look the same as the picture. In fact, she didn't look even close to anything like the girl in the picture. The hooker was not a young Italian chick, but a middle-aged black woman. She was about 180 to 200 pounds and was probably about 45 years old. I later asked Will, if it wasn't what you thought you were paying for, why did you do it? To which he responded, well, most hookers carry Glocks and I didn't want to get shot. To which I replied, why didn't you just give her the money? His answer was that he didn't think about that because he was high on crack and extremely horny. I thought that was a good enough excuse. Well, to make a long story short, Will did the dirty deed with the dirty hooker. A few days later he had a burning sensation when he peed, so he went to the doctor. Unfortunately for him it was herpes. He later told me that his dick looked like Wolverine tried to eat it. Here's the kicker, this was his first time. Yeah, he lost it to a hooker and got herpes. You wanna wear tough guy pants? Good luck cleaning them tomorrow. I work as a bartender in a small cocktail bar for some time now, and I'm usually chill. But bullies can still push my buttons in the wrong way. Before starting, I may be in the wrong for doing this, but it is what it is. A week ago, a bunch of guys came for a few. They seemed like okay dudes, early 20s, but the group dynamic was kinda off. Introducing the main antagonist. Obnoxious guy, too loud, snapping his fingers at me when ordering. Don't snap fingers at bartenders, kids, we're not dogs, punching his friends in the shoulders all the time. A sportier, really aggressive version of a David Spade character he was. Next to David Spade, sat the victim of most of his playful teasings, silently enduring his stuff. I really felt sorry for this fellow. He wasn't a drinker, but he looked like he would rather be drinking distilled devil's piss than continue sitting next to this macho maniac. He was really uncomfortable. David continued to bug him to take a shot at least. Come on, one with me, don't be a punani, a female dog. Until, after a whole night of persuasion, finally my dude waved the white flag. Okay, let's do one shot together, then leave me be. 2 of your most effed up shots, Spade shouted, snapping his effing fingers, while I imagined snapping his effing neck. Oh, you'll get a effed up shot, buddy. I made these 2 layered shots, but while looking almost the same, they were different. David got stuff like Red Jacques Seigneur Absinthe, 75% alcohol, Stro, 80% alcohol, Tabasco, 110% flaming diarrhea, really nasty business altogether, and the other guy got mostly syrups, juices, and harmless stuff. They looked almost identical. Red Absinthe can pass visually as a cranberry juice, Stro as a syrup from brown sugar, Sambuca as anything colorless, etc. They took their shots and all hell broke loose. Other guy chugged his shot like a champion, not even flinching. Why would he? He drank juice. But David Spade, boy, oh boy, he looked like he'd have a brain aneurysm. Tears poured from eyes, coughing like his lungs wanted to come out. He had the face and posture of a man who just got waterboarded with some sort of chili sauce. Other guy looked surprised until he caught a wink from me, but David Spade and the rest of the crew, now roaring with laughter about his misery, suspected nothing. They got their shots on the house. Poor dude was left alone, and David was a good boy for the rest of the night, deflated enduring small mockings from his fellows. Now, I may have used my powers in a wrong way, but this is the first and only time I messed with customers' drinks, and I regret nothing. He was rude, aggressive even, to everyone around him. F you, sporty David Spade.